Hi, welcome again. Welcome to this brainstorming session. If you can just ping in your chats which city you're coming in from, that will really help us get to know you better. We like to keep this two-way. Hi, Vinesh.
Yeah,
How you
I
doing?
am. Sorry.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm based in Sirsi, northwestern Karnataka. So 13 kilometers outside Sirsi.
Nice. Thank you. Welcome to the brainstorming session. Oh, Biju has joined. Happy to be. Roshan's Nasik. Hi. Anyone else want to just tell us where you're from before we start? Tell us on mic, or you can just chat. I'm going to remove the waiting room so that we can just.
Hello, sir. Myself Anand from Hubli.
Hi, Anand. Welcome. Thanks for being here. We are gathering volunteers for August 15th to see how best we can get as many people on the streets to participate in a National Day of Action. Last year as well, we did this with 22 cities, and we had a lot of people go out in all these cities, reach out to decision makers. What we're trying to do is make India's streets more cycling friendly. And we'll just show you the plan that we had, and we're asking for plans that you may give to propose to so that we can make it better together. Hi, Biju. Good to see you here. I know Biju is in
Hi, Jacob.
Hi, Biju. Thanks for being here. Yeah. So my colleague Chiku is sharing screen, so he'll give you an idea of what we're doing.
Hi.
Hi. Okay. Anyone else want to tell us where we're going while Chiku sets up? Hi. So Wednesdays we do this where we come together online. Ever since the pandemic, we've been doing this. So we have invited all of you to come join us to participate in a brainstorming session, because 1 month from now we have a National Day of Action, which we did last year and we're doing it again this year because last year was such a hit. So we are looking for a core group of volunteers to help achieve this goal. Chiku, please. There's some general outline of rules. Just be respectful. It's being recorded. You can keep being mute. If there's too much background noise, I might have to mute some people. If we're open for questions through the session and also after the session. This is not a regular session, so please, this is a two-way communication for this session. And yeah, just you can skip this slide. Just some photographs of some of the events we do. This is our small team, the 22 of us based out of Bangalore. And the rest of the country, but we are headquartered out of Bangalore. Here are some pictures from last year's National Day of Action, as well as cycling workshops that we've been doing in Bangalore. Let's see pictures from Agartala, Bangalore. Yeah, this is today's event. Okay, we have a quick poll that we just want to ask. People, you want to share it? I can do it. Here's the first question. You might be seeing the first question. Please go. Do you know who your city's bicycle mayor is? If you don't have a bicycle mayor, it means no. Okay, we have 2 yeses. Nice. If you said yes, just please tell us which city it is, and there are 3 of you.
I'm based in Hyderabad.
Okay. Hi, Prashant.
Hi.
Okay, great. And you have met your own bicycle mayor? Your Hyderabad bicycle.
Okay, I didn't know if that was the meaning, but I know him, but I have never met him in person.
And I was just asking to know how closely engaged are you with the community. Thank you for that. Okay, getting a sense. So a bicycle mayor is for those who don't know, is someone that's elected by the community to represent the bicycle community. As this person, it's their duty to engage with decision makers, bring the community together, so that it's a stronger community. I'm just going to end this poll. Okay, Jacob, please continue. Share these results. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so why are we here? The big picture is so we can have cycle-friendly streets, just streets that are more cycling friendly. This could mean multiple things. It could mean just infrastructure, bike lanes, parking, etc. Maybe the metro should be able to allow us to carry the bikes on the metro. So in case we're going across the city, maybe buses should have cycle racks. These are features that are available across the world, and our cities can have them too. Of course, lower carbon dioxide emissions, better air quality. Anything else? When you think about cycle-friendly streets, can you tell us in chat or on microphone? We're taking notes right now. What else do we need for more cycling-friendly streets? Just opening up to the audience. I'm going to mute myself. Anyone, you can put in chat. What more do we need to have better streets for cyclists? Come on, Bijo, I know you cycle a lot. You have some ideas, I'm sure.
Um, I think we need to consider more of, courtesy to cyclists on the roads, because actually we all started out walking. And then I think there were mostly cycles in Bangalore. I'm in Bangalore. And only then did the vehicular traffic come in. And even when it came, it was not so much. So I think now we are working in reverse, all the vehicles get a lot of respect on the roads. Cyclists and pedestrians get zero. I think we need to have some sort of awareness campaigns where people are told that, cyclists have an equal right to be on the roads, and some sort of consideration for them, so that you don't totally freak them out, because I know a lot of people who want to cycle but are very scared of Bangalore traffic and don't do that. And unless we have regular cyclists doing their chores on bicycles and maybe doing short distances to work also, maybe we are not really going to address the issue of reducing pollution and emission.
Thanks, Viju. Manish, you just want to explain what you were saying there? Change in social perception. Cycling is key in aspirational societies like ours.
Yeah, I was just keying into the chat, but since you've asked, see, I live in a place which could well be considered cycling heaven, in the sense the roads are great. They're mostly empty. There's very little traffic. There are gentle gradients. The weather is such, weather is cool most of the time of the year, and nobody cycles. I live in a village of 1,000 people, and you'll have a tough time finding 10 people who cycle, even though the length of the village from one end to the other is about 2 kilometers. So it has a lot to do with cycling, with perceptions of cycling. Cycling is, as somebody put it very aptly, is a bicycle is either a child's toy, or a rich man's obsession, or a poor man's last resort. So if we can change this perception, I'm a little wary of asking for better infrastructure for cycling. All the talk around changes that would improve cyclists' lives center around building better infrastructure. We think of Europe and we want bicycle lanes and things like that. But Indian roads have a very different kind of ecosystem. We have, there are dogs, there are cows, and they've been welcome. There've been bullock carts, so now they've kind of disappeared. And these coexist. What you need is some different kind of thinking where cycling is seen as an ordinary thing. It's seen, like I said, in a very feverishly aspirational society. I find there are people in Bangalore, for instance, I think you're from Bangalore, who are riding around, on bicycles which cost lakhs of rupees, and they're asking for better infrastructure. But the ordinary, the milkman, the sabziwala, and all these people who actually use bicycles to earn their living, they don't seem to be in the picture. And or if you've seen in India, there are people who carry gas cylinders. 4 gas cylinders on an old roadster bicycle is standard, without any additional carriers and things like that. So we have a certain legacy. I don't know. I don't want to. I'm not voicing discontent. I'm merely throwing open the floor to certain different kinds of thinking, where we can talk of change in perceptions before we talk of infrastructure. Because we were a cycling nation when we didn't have the infrastructure. We had even less infrastructure. And if we ask for more better infrastructure, we're going the way of the motorists. The motorists say we should have better roads and there should be no cows on the roads because the road is meant for us. And now cyclists are taking a cue from there and saying, oh, we want our separate little lanes. And and we want better infrastructure. Yes, I mean, infrastructure is we need better infrastructure, but that might be in the shape of some other ways than something that's expensive and difficult to put in place, like bike lanes and things like that. It could be simple things like making workplaces a little more receptive and encouraging of people who commute by bicycle to the offices, having a little shower room for them to change in, and something like that. I'm just thinking, can we think in terms of simplicity, simplify things, and see how we can bring about a larger change without asking for very large infrastructural changes, which are going to be difficult to bring about. And I'm all for, sorry.
I just ask which village you're from?
I live in Hulikal. That is a village that's about 13 kilometers from Sirsi. Sirsi is a small agricultural town in northwestern Karnataka. It's about 100 kilometers from Hubli.
Okay, so your point is very valid. And yes, I have definitely been exposed to a lot of this. We had actually discussed it with one of the corporators, and he said, Madam, if you let us cut all the trees in Bangalore, we can give you cycling lanes. So I think if you've been to Bangalore, you'll realize that the traffic actually dominates the entire existence of Bangalore. So what you're saying is definitely a valid point. I don't think we are all asking for cycling lanes right now. We are asking for basic consideration on the roads. When we talk about a road presence, I was a complete roadie. I've driven practically all over India. When I started cycling, I realized that on my bicycle, I have the least preference on the road. A cow comes before me in terms of preference. So I think I'm talking about a completely different point from what you're trying to make. We are not talking about cycling lanes. We're talking about respect from other motorists on the road. And to tell you the truth, in Bangalore, actually, you can say 85% of the people are very respectful. In the sense, cyclists normally stick to the side. We even try to go onto the footpath most of the time. And now many of the footpaths are actually conducive for cycling. But that 15% of vehicular traffic can really give you such a hard time that you probably will not take your cycle out for unless it's at 6 in the morning, which is when I normally do the kind of cycling I like. I leave my house by 5:30, 6, and I'm back by 8:30, which is not going to really help to reduce the pollution or reduce the traffic on the roads.
So I think, Bidru's like a leisure cyclist, and I think we are also talking about cycling infrastructure, which we think it could be a chicken and egg situation. Does infrastructure come first and then consideration, or is it the other way around? This could be debatable as well. I just wanted to also be cognizant of Prashant's point. He's saying, agree with too much focus on road infrastructure. Fair enough. I think we need to also basically think about demonstrating citizens, cyclists as a large enough constituency of citizens itself. Like we are a large enough group to be paid respect to. And I think that's what Vinesh was talking about. And Biju also in some ways was addressing that. Anyone else? I got some messages about repair shops from Yash. Yeah, thank you for that. Which also Prashant has said. Need to get vehicle. Like, okay, fine. Yeah, Prashant also mentioned about maintenance centers and repair centers. Yeah. Roshan, please. Yeah, you're on stack. Go.
Yeah, I think the repair shops is a valid point because one of the things that I remember from my childhood is every area or even the smaller areas had these cycle repair shops, and they created this short, like small economy for the people, the karagirs, we used to call them, cycle karagirs, who made sure that your cycle, those old Atlas cycles or Hercules cycles, they made sure that they will run smoothly. I don't see all those shops nowadays. Most of the shops I do see are these highly, like, the bicycles with worth 1 lakh, 2 lakh. They get their services, but the thing is, the cyclist who is carrying 4 cylinders will also have many problems with his bicycle, and we need to make sure that we are asking decision makers to promote those kind of shops too, uh, so that this goes as a full economy. You cannot just give them bicycle, you have to give them the services that come with the bicycle. I know this is a very difficult demand to ask in the cities right now, but I think this goes with the small bicycle holder, like the poor bicycle holder, and we should try for those demands too.
Nice. Thanks, Roshan.
Making
Yeah, Didi, please.
making cycle repair shops as common as, say, electric vehicle charging stations. Is that what you mean, Roshan?
Yes. Just
Cool.
when you said making them as common as electric shops, I just realized uh, companies like Urban Clap, the cycle shops are not able to have these places rented out for them, but companies like Urban Clap, we can have a partnership with companies like Urban Clap, because most of the cyclists uh, um, can call these people and have their cycle repaired in this, specifically this COVID time, when it is not possible for all of the shop owners to keep their shops open.
I can see Anand's hand is up. Anand, please, you want to go? You want to say something?
Yes, sir. Yeah, daily I do cycling for in the morning, where I usually see that the cyclists have the least respect, as ma'am told. Yeah, we do ride in the corner of the road, but the way the other vehicles take us, um, like they pass away by very close calls. Like when a bus or a truck goes with around 60 to 40 speed, we do shake up. A bicycle would shake when they pass away. So if they if we create awareness to the helpful.
Yeah, yeah. So what I got from that was that we just need to also build awareness that cyclists deserve respect as well. I think this should be important part of the campaign.
Yeah, yeah,
Yash,
yeah.
yeah. Thanks, Anand, for that. Oh, Yash is saying one more thing is social awareness. In UP, if you ride a bicycle, you are viewed upon as poor and low status. Even your friends frown upon you. Not the case with everyone, but at the end, a person can get demotivated by peers' reactions. Yeah. I think cyclists, being proud cyclists, I think is really important. I am cyclist and proud. Maybe this is some amount of campaign messaging should be around. I am cyclist and I'm proud of being a cyclist. Yeah, yeah, agreed with Vinit. Not just UP. Okay, let's roll forward.
Jacob,
Thank
I would like to add one last point,
Sure.
which is
Go
something
back.
that you can demand very easily, and those are markings for the cyclists. So there are many cities which have these newly built cycling lanes, but most of them do not have the markings. So those places are used as parking spaces. having these markings. So we have done this in Nashik, we have done this in Mumbai, and it is very easy to ask for these things because these things don't cost that much. It's like a painting on the road. So if you're a cyclist living in a city, you can go to your corporator or the corporation and demand for markings in your ward or area.
So what are you marking on the road? You're just the cyclist signs?
Yes, those are the cyclist signs. The markings on the road have the most impact uh, when there are illegal parkings or people driving in the cycling lanes. The markings on the road have the maximum impact to making sure that this will not happen.
Okay, according to municipality data.
According to WRI data, so there are experiments being done in Mumbai, and we are also doing this in Nashik.
Okay. Can you share with everyone what is WRI?
I have to I think look for there. So
No worries.
WRI is the
World Resources Institute.
yeah,
That's
World
what.
Resources Institute. They recently did this in Mumbai, in a very busy chowk, which was always crowded, and they simply use the street markings to make sure that people will follow the lines, and all the other vehicles will follow their lines.
Got it. Great. So we're taking notes on this. Next is how do we achieve this vision of this outcome that we are all looking for? These were some of the tools that we had in mind, which we can deploy because this is what we do at Jatka. We make petitions, we do social media, we have online challenges. Other than that, what else can we do? Also on August 15th, we will be taking our cycles out and cycling out on the streets within safe pandemic limits. As a show of strength, we'll be taking photographs and uploading just to show people, firstly, around our houses that we are on the streets, as well as in our neighborhood, and also online. Everyone who's following should know that we are on the streets. So that's what we're trying to do on August 15th itself. What else? Asking people in chat to say, what other tools can we do to raise respect for cyclists on the street and also ask for cycling infrastructure? I think these are the two themes that are coming out. Did you saying awareness? Vijay, you're welcome to put on your microphone. Awareness to vehicles and motor drivers to give consideration. But how would we communicate that, Vijay? That's the question. How would we communicate it?
According to me, it has to be an awareness campaign because, like I said, 85% of these people, even the taxi drivers, I think taxi drivers are the most inconsiderate in Bangalore, even if you're in a car. But even they give respect to cyclists. But there's still that 15% or 10% people who can give you such a scare, because we are trying to encourage more people onto the roads, right? Like I will cycle, and even if somebody does something, I've been cycling for so long, it probably will be like water on duck's back. But I'm talking about the new cyclists who are going to venture out, going to not use their cars, try to, establish themselves as cyclists to, maybe short distances initially. See, those are the people I'm talking about, and if you see in Bangalore right now, there's a lot of, I don't know, what is it called? Smart city development or some such thing. So, if you push a cyclist, he's probably going to land up in a ditch, which has been dug up, and it's a very scary prospect. So if we can just make an awareness campaign, according to me, it is just about telling people that, see, there are more cyclists who want to venture out, and see, we do have that way minority status in the road. There are very few cyclists. If you're talking about like 100 cars and scooters or whatever, there will be maybe 5 cycles or maybe 3 cycles. So obviously it is a minority status. In that consideration, in that condition, the human consideration, saying that as a cyclist, just make way, just don't honk. It can be as simple as just not honking. Yeah. The cyclist is aware. It's just that if you keep honking.
So I want to actually channel this conversation to talk about specific things, because the messaging can be infinite. For instance, like what we do with the cycling petitions, is like we would run a petition, we would gather 50,000 signatures, and we would take that to a decision maker and say, see this. And then we would take that to journalists and say there are 50,000 citizens who are willing to put their name to this ask. So what there's a screenshot here about a petition from Delhi, Bombay, there were 22 cities last year. So this is a very specific tool. And now the message, like what you are saying, can be built into any of these tools. Like, what are these tools in which we can engage decision makers, people around us, and the media? These are the basically the three main broadly stakeholders. You know, the people around us, the media to amplify the message, and the decision makers who finally makes that decision. So keeping these stakeholders in mind, how do we engage them? So I'm just like very specifically, how do we engage? Yeah. So I've taken your point about awareness is important, but now how do we? What is it that? What is that message we take to them finally, and how do we engage it? Can we talk about the people
Biju,
around us? Yeah. Yeah, Didi, go for it.
Biju, one way that we can do this is to find out whether there are relevant super specific laws already in place that protect cyclists, or find the people who uh, rashly drive around cyclists or pedestrians. And if they aren't present or properly implemented, we can push for a petition that pushes for proper implementation, or bringing in some new sub laws that help protect the rights of pedestrians and cyclists on road, as say for example, uh, the rights of a different vehicle are protected by laws, second insurance laws, something like that.
Because I know of people who've had serious accidents, and these are avid cyclists. Even after 5 broken bones, have got back onto their cycles and cycle today. But you cannot, if a person who is maybe able to cycle, has a cycle, but only gets out on holidays, if you want to convince them to get onto the roads and reduce, using the car, we need to know that these people are protected in some way, even if it is just a campaign to bring about awareness or posters or whatever. And sometimes I feel that people are just not thinking, like so many times I find people, it's something to do with Bangalore traffic. I mean, I know I'm being a little whimsical here, but in Bangalore, once you're on the road, you're not thinking like a normal person, so when you see a cycle, you're probably like, why is he on the road, or why is she on the road? And like, just for the fact that I'm the only lady on this group, and that also says a lot. Like, there are very few cyclist ladies who want to venture out on a regular basis on a bicycle. And why is that? There must be something, so how do we address this and make it like a awareness campaign? It should be something that, if you're not doing it, then you're not cool. If you're not giving respect to a cyclist or a pedestrian, like I know CFP did it. I have been part of some of those campaigns for pedestrians. Yeah.
Yeah.
But why
So
is it
what you're saying
allowed? Why is it not like one of the first things we do?
Yeah, so I think what you're saying ties in with what Roshan is saying. He's saying placards on busy chowks of the cities. Maybe this is something that we can definitely do on August 15th when we go out cycling. Roshan, you wanted to say something? You have a...
Yeah. So Nashik. So I'm from Nashik, and Nashik was not a cycling friendly city when I was in my school. And the things that changed here in Nashik is kids started cycling a lot on busy roads. Parents used to protect them, holding the placards and all. Uh, so I know changing the mindset is a very long game. I don't think it will be possible to do it in one campaign, even if it is 6 month long campaign. But one of the things that works is, holding these placards, something like "Thank you for cycling." So I did this last year. Thank you for cycling, and we just posted. Of course, like very few people on the road saw me, but we clicked the photos, and those photos were circulated. And then many people did that in their areas. Thank you for cycling. Similarly, we can do respect the cyclist or something like that in smaller areas. Of course, this will be a very long activity, but we have to keep doing this if we really care about the cycling. And I think for sure, I am planning something like this in Nashik. Again, we are also trying to see if we can do it in Mumbai. This is something can be done in Bangalore too. I have been to Bangalore and seen how bad the Bangalore traffic is.
Yeah.
I have lived in Nashik at one time in my life. I was in college then, and I think Nasik is such a beautiful place. And if y'all are having a problem, can you imagine how much worse it is in Bangalore?
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring up what Vinish has shared. I think a very interesting article about strict liability. Vinish, do you just want to do you want to say something about it, or just do you want to keep a clean share that people can read? I just scanned the article. Yeah, all right. Yeah.
No, nothing. Let people just read and.
Sure. Prashant saying petitions are a great first step. Agreed, but these are come realities to gain implementation financing. For example, this is to provide space. So Prashant is this is the second time you've raised the participation of business as stakeholders itself. I think that's a great idea. Like, can we get a commitment from IT parks about cycle parking space? Maybe this is what it could be. Can we get like the cool companies, the Googles and the those big fancy international companies to openly commit to cycle space? Perhaps this could be something that brings attention and give organic reach to the campaign. All right, thank you. Great. All right. We have taken down these ideas on the different potential tools that we could do. To sum it up, we had placards, we had messaging that Biju just talked about. The idea of at a policy level, the strict liability, Carfree Thursday. So they had car-free weekends on Church Street in the past year during between November and February, which was actually quite nice on Church Street. Very nice thing.
Jacob, just since you asked, so in Hyderabad about 4 years ago, we did a Car-Free Thursday program. So on a weekday, on Thursday, I kind of asked voluntarily for people in the IT hub of Hyderabad to say that, hey, on Thursdays, don't bring your vehicle to office. So about 10 to 12,000 people joined this campaign. So we used to get data from various offices as to how the parking demand reduced on those Thursdays. And that's when we also took this idea, what Roshan was saying, that we actually thank people for taking the bus. So rarely you do that, right? I mean, normally traveling by bus is almost looked down upon just as much as the cycle. And when we did that had a very good impact. I mean, it lasted. I mean, this program lasted only a couple of months, but there are still a few people who ardently follow, like not taking a bus and not taking a private vehicle and all that kind of stuff. So I think the campaign has to go on ground. I mean, beyond the online mechanisms. I mean, online mechanisms are great for publicity to reach out to people and change their mindsets. But I think there has to be something happening on the ground.
Yes, 100% agree.
And at a scale.
Yeah. Yeah, how would we do that in a pandemic? This is a little challenging at the moment, I think, because the idea of approaching offices right now still doesn't seem very realistic. But on ground, we definitely want to do a show of strength of people on ground cycling on August 15th. But we're very open to specific ideas like you just did about taking public transport instead of. We have Kittu and Vijay Prasad has just joined. Yeah.
Jacob, something very interesting.
Yeah, please.
I have friends who are trying to buy bicycles and they're not able to find a bicycle because there is apparently a shortage of cycles in the stores. So either a lot of people have bought cycles or because of pandemic, there is no proper production happening. I don't know which one it is. So if all the cycles are sold and there are, I mean, there's a dearth of it, that means all these cycles are not being used because people are just coming out on holidays and early morning for like exercise. So we have a target audience. We have people out there who have bicycles and probably have the interest, but how do we kind of coax them onto the roads at to reduce traffic? That would be one of the points we could discuss.
Yeah, that's been noted. Chiku, can you go back one slide? I noticed 4 people just joined the call. Just to give them a sense of slide 1 and we come back. Yeah, so this is what we're doing today. Everyone that just joined, we are talking about how do we create more cycle-friendly streets through a various range of systems. We talked about infrastructure, but we also talked about an awareness campaign to treating cyclists as a important part of citizen constituency. And so we were talking about an awareness campaign about cyclist pride. Next slide, Chiku, please. And the other thing is, what are the different tools we can make this happen? So you please feel free to enter and chat any new ideas. Okay, moving forward. Okay, so how everyone can participate through the lens of jhatka.org is this is what we can offer support in signing the petitions that we can take to decision makers. To share the message, either you make the message yourself or you can share messages that other people or jhatka.org or any of the cycling groups are making. Or you can join an event or lead an event on August 15th. Next slide, please. So can someone share the bit.ly link in the chat? So this is the list of all the petitions right now that are live for the cities around the country. Sorry, 12 cities, not 22. Can someone share that, please? Yeah. So in the chat. Chiku, Didi? Can you share the link in the chat? There we go. Okay, so Didi has just shared it. So you can check out the petitions there. So these will start going live. We will have a single page where all these will be listed in the coming week. So this is a very easy small step to make sure that people around you are signing the petitions. And if you want to set up a petition for your town, you can get in touch with us. We'll be giving the email address, or you can ping us directly in DMs, and one of our teammates will help you set up a petition for your town that you can help us lead. Next, please. Okay, so the other thing is to share content in itself to make a buzz. Either you share original content, it could be online content or offline content. It could be your placards, it could be a signboard outside your house, it could be a t-shirt, it could be your social media, or you could share something else with someone else. So last year, what we did is we helped some groups create banners, which we helped them get printed so that they can use it on ground on August 15th to get more people out. And this really helped create buzz on ground because we helped them design the posters, we helped them print the posters as well. And great, Allahabad, nice. We helped them create posters on ground, which they used as banners, and they ran an on-ground event with the mayor landing up with press coverage, all of that. So we can help you run an on-ground campaign in your town, village, city as well. If you want to do that, we can help you make that happen. Next slide, please. So this gives you a sign of some of the content that was released last year. And this gives you there was a national petition as well as city-wise petition. We are live on all social media at jhatka.org, Twitter, Instagram, and any other organization. We're very happy to partner with you and promote you as well for the Reset with Cycling campaign, which is a hashtag that the bicycling community created, and we're very happy to support it. Yeah, you find us across all social media with @jhatka.org. So you can share content from there as well. Already you can see some stuff there. Other than that, we were talking about making some sort of challenge. Like we all know, like all these challenges that people are doing right now. Didi, you're gonna have to help me here. There's the hip walking challenge. There is the ice bucket challenge. We have a whole bunch of challenges. So we were thinking about how do we make a cycling challenge for India that is relevant. What else you got? Yeah. Anybody know any other challenges that were popular? I think I'm losing track with all the challenges.
There was a Kiki dance challenge.
Kiki dance challenge, which is dancing outside your car. So can we have a challenge which we can like do ourselves internally and then share outwards to get people around us to participate in involving our cycle? So before we share an idea that our teammate Roshan made, does anyone have an idea for a challenge? Roshan, do you want to share your thoughts behind making this challenge?
Yeah. Um, so the idea behind this one is kind of goes with the Fit India challenge, which also had many challenges. One of that was lift your ride. That means you started using the bicycle, which helps you, strengthen your core. And some of the bicycles are not that heavy, but most of the bicycles, which are not maybe costly, are kind of heavy, like around 10, 12 to 15 kgs. And lifting your bicycle up, uh, that high is it feels kind of challenge, right? It's not the easy thing that anyone can do just right away. So the idea is to um, do cycle every day and make sure you can also lift your cycle. That means you're also trying to build your core, strengthen your core, and that's what is this challenge is showing. And also lift your ride or lift your bike is pretty I think many cyclists use this, like whenever there is a competition, triathlons and all. The final stage, every time a winner is reaching to that end of line, the celebration of the cyclist is lift your ride. So that's why I came up with this idea. But I'm happy if anyone has better idea, maybe simpler one. I'm happy. We are happy to accept that one also. So do let us know if you have any idea around this.
Thanks, Roshan. So we'll just pause there. So anyone have any ideas of something that could be fun, simple, that we can get people to participate in like this online? Because our challenge is, we have a couple of challenges. One is it should not force people to go out to do this during a pandemic. And it should not, Roshan helped me with what the other one was, it should not force them to do this while cycling as well. These were the two things that it should not do, just for safety sake, as well as safety from like a cycling safety sake and pandemic sake. So what is it that people can do with their cycles at home itself, video it and share it? Yeah.
I would like to ask Biju, as she said she's the only female member for this webinar, because I shared this with some of the female members, cyclists, and they all liked it. But I got one comment that said this this feels difficult for female. Do you think it's the
In
case?
fact, I was just typing in my message saying that this is what we do a lot in Bangalore, because many times the footpath is also quite safe for cycling. So we are picking up the cycle, putting it onto the footpath, or sometimes the culverts or the road is dug up. We are anyway picking it up. What you're showing is I have a mountain bike, so it's kind of heavy, but yeah, certainly I think it's fun. I think we should all try it.
Okay, that's a relief. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, if we have no, okay, all right, Didi, we have left off. Great. Okay, so next slide, please. Okay, Chiku has some poll slides. Chiku, over to you. Yeah, and please in the chat, please share some ideas, because we want to implement ideas by the community.
Say, for example, if you have an idea of an audio that can be used with the lift. So Roshan came up with, Roshan, would you like to tell us what you came up with? Right, it was Nan.
Yeah, one of our team members said, because it is a heavy lifting kind of thing, we can go for Bahubali music, because it goes with that music itself goes with sync. Like if you do it in slow motion, it's really cool thing to see. But yeah, we are open to the more ideas.
Biju,
All right.
Yash, Prashant.
All right, so I just want to do this. Can you give me a sense of, would you participate in a lift your bike challenge, or any sort of challenge? Yes, we have one. Yes, 100% yes, two yes. Nice. Thank you. Wow, thank you. You're a very nice participative organization, team here. 7 out of 15 have said yes. 8. Oh, how exciting. Can you see the poll results on your screen while it's going on? No? Okay, no. All right, maybe only after I do the pandemic. Okay, someone said no. Thank you for your honesty. So we have had 10 out of 15 people participate in that poll. I'm going to end it and share the results. Happy to see that. Great, thank you. I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, anything else? Okay, the next thing you can do is to join an event or lead an event. We had multiple such events around the city last year. Were you out on August 15th last year? If anybody was out cycling last year, can you please put in chat? Did you participate in a cycling event last August 15th? Yes, Yakut, we can definitely use. Biju was cycling on August 15th, great. Anyone else? I was. Kanishka, yes, of course. Good to see you again, Kanishka. We have a bicycle mayor here. Thank you for being here today. Roshan, Yash, great. Unish wasn't out on the street. Okay. Okay, so what we're talking about is like to build, to have a little community of let's say 5, 6 riders and ride around your neighborhood on that day. And this is what we're asking people to do. Take your friends, family, and go for a cycle. Here's a picture, I think from Nashik, right? A really beautiful place to cycle at. Yeah, if you'd like to participate, please do this. We are inviting you to do so. If you would like to set up an event, we are very happy to help you set up that event. From graphics, from media outreach, posters. We need your support on ground in your town. We'll help you make that happen, including just full campaign packaging. We can help you with. We have the ability to do so. So please feel free to use that with us. Kanishka, do you want to talk about last year how you participated on the street? I invite you with before. Kanishka, you with us? I see Kitu here. Inviting experienced cyclists to join us and just say how you may have participated in a day of action in the past years. All right. Okay, we'll keep rolling forward. Next slide, please. Okay, so what are the ways we can help grow the cycling community? We're just going to open the floor up to discussion here. How do we get as many, let's start with how do we get as many people as possible on the streets on August 15th? And to make sure we make enough of a noise to get cyclists a recognition as an important part of the population.
I can go first. Yeah.
Go, Chiku, please.
We can come out with people from our own colonies, and we can have some pictures which we can attach to our hashtag Petrol Azadi and hashtag Reset with Cycling. That will evaluate the campaign and will help us to reach the decision makers and help us to bring more cycling infrastructure all over India.
Nice. Thanks, Chico. Didi said to tighten with patriotism. Yash agrees. Yeah, Kitu, no worries. I tried to unmute you as well. I don't think it seems to be working. So please go ahead and you can put it into chat. What is it that we can do on August 15th to get people out there? This must, Anand, please, your hand is up. Go for it.
The necessary thing that we must post our Strava activities like our progress, where when our friend sees like we are progressing from 50 to 100, 100 to 200, and likewise, even they can start thinking like, oh, my friend is gonna ride like 200 or 100. They start thinking, yeah, we might do the same thing. Likewise, we can motivate them, and in future they might join us too. for the healthy environment, and well as even the sport of cycling can be promoted. The sports of cycling in India is very low, so helpful to be.
Very nice. Thanks, Anand. Yeah. So what we did last year was we made little posters saying we are meeting up at so and so place at 7 a.m., at 6 a.m. And we invited people to just meet us there, and we start cycling from there. Starting 6 o'clock, some of us, we had to map a route to say we will be on this route from this time to this time. So join us on this route at any time. Uh, there was a gated colony here where they did rounds within the gated colony for 15 kilometers. So maybe you could chart a map of 15 kilometers in your city and say you're going to ride 15 kilometers on that day. Or if you're a little more hardcore, I think 72 kilometers. I think it's 72nd year of 75th year, right? Of independence. So maybe it could be 75 kilometers for all of y'all who do 100-kilometer rides like Anand. So we could maybe come up with numbers like that and basically set a map and say on August 15th, we're going to be starting at your town hall or your brigade road or your Connaught place. Choose a place, pick a destination, maybe go a full round and come back. And August 15th, we have all the students conduct flag hoisting. Kitu saying we can have all the cyclists in our own ward, visit all schools on cycles to promote cycling with kids. Yes, that's a great idea, Kitu. Thank you for that. Which is to identify flag hoisting in schools around. So maybe this requires a few phone calls to schools to see if flag hoisting is going to be there, find out what time it is, and go from school to school and promote it. That's a fabulous idea, Kitu. Yash, we can create an Independence Day path by tracking apps. So Yash, that's a really interesting idea. How would you do that? I can't imagine. Do you want to just tell the group to give us some ideas? Inviting you to chat, Yash, on either on microphone or in chat. Burn calories, not fossil fuel. Agreed, Biju. But I just want to just see if Yash can share some ideas on the Independence Day path.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Yash, please go ahead. Floor is
I
yours.
was like suggesting like people do have seen on social media like they create paths by running or on the tracking apps like for marriage proposals and all. So that's like that. We could do that by going to a fixed path by finding it on your map only in your neighborhood. Something like Happy Independence Day or something like that.
So you mean like draw it in your Strava, so with your path?
Yes, that's
Lovely idea. It's slightly wild idea also. Yeah, I would
Maybe
definitely like to see how to do
maybe
that.
Happy Independence Day. Maybe Happy Independence Day would be too long and complex to do. Maybe something simple like
yeah.
a
We can
tricolor
always
flag.
change the term. Yeah, that would be good.
Say again, please.
Yeah, India, or maybe just the flag, the tricolor with three rectangles and one stick that represents the flag stick.
I like the ideas. My challenge is simpler the better, because it's difficult to find a perfect rectangle. Also, like in general, not all cities are as organized as, for instance, Delhi is actually very organized roads. Bangalore is very hard to find sometimes perfect rectangle where you could cycle for 15 kilometers comfortably. But I like this idea of writing something on Strava and like sharing that. So can we actually set a task for ourselves? We have many cities here represented. Can we set a task of like, can we meet 1 week from now and decide a track that you could map in your city? We have Hyderabad, we have Sirsi, we have multiple cities here. Can we come back next week with a track for Independence Day? If you're okay with that idea, can you just say yes in the chat? Is that an okay thing to do? Is that an okay task that we can do as a team to map one cycling route in your city and share that as a group next week? Thanks, Yash. Thanks, Roshan. Anyone else, please? I'm inviting you to help us map the cycling route for August 15th?
So last year we did a ride and called it a freedom ride, and using these words like freedom and independence, we got 3 media hits. I mean, 3 newspapers came at the finish line where we were supposed to end that ride, and we had no idea. They were there ready with their cameraman. So I think calling it a freedom ride or independence ride, that can be a good idea to promote your ride.
Yeah, I think, yeah, that's a great idea. To have
Petrol se azadi.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, but I think a freedom ride is like very press friendly a term.
Yeah, it is.
And press friendly is really important because we're trying to communicate with decision makers. We want the mayors of our cities, the governors of our states, to chief ministers to read about the fact that the cycling community is doing this. So I think that's actually a great idea. So the takeaway is like, I think maybe we should just call it something standard: freedom ride, you know, Agartala, freedom ride, Bangalore, freedom ride, Indiranagar, freedom ride, Sirsi, right, Delhi, and maybe we all do this as a coordinated ride, and we map a route. Yeah, yeah, that's a nice slogan. I agree with Biju.
Can I add a couple of things over here?
Yes, please, Kanishka, please.
Hi. So it's always nice being here. A beautiful space for cyclists to talk and do a lot of things. So my concern happens with Freedom Ride is, so now what happens is when we talk about organizing rides in the city, none of the regular cyclists join those rides because these rides are of say 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, like just an ornamental ride that happens in a particular sector. So you won't find regular cyclists participating in rides like these. And especially on a day of holiday, all the regular cyclists want to go for their own long distance ride. So it becomes very difficult to pull them, and without pulling them, you can't make it fancy. So you have to make it more fancy, you have to make it more visible, colorful, vibrant, and a lot of good bikes over there so that it attract a lot of attention. And I have always faced problem doing that in my city. And that's not something that, unique to my city, it happens everywhere. So you can pull 10 cyclists, but you can't pull 500 cyclists from your city and go for a ride. It becomes very difficult. So we end up pulling at times kids from the school, or so we have public bike sharing in our place. So we end up getting public bike sharing things, get some school kids over there, but it doesn't make it very interesting. So something in which we can actually involve a lot of people from the cycling community and other people as well will make it more interesting. So probably, for example, just for idea, if we do a freedom ride followed by an event for the cyclist, or a freedom ride is, for example, if you look at marathon. So now how does marathon happen? So you have a 42-kilometer full marathon, you have 21-kilometer, you have 10 kilometers, and then 5-kilometer easy riders for everyone to participate. So that is how marathon happens, and 5 kilometer is just to pull crowd. So if we do an event wherein we are doing say a 50-kilometer, 100-kilometer, 50-kilometer, 25-kilometer, and 10-kilometer. So something like this will be much more fun because then you actually involve all the community members into it. So just not doing 10 kilometers, but doing different event with different set of rides will make more sense and create more buzz. So that is one part. Second part that I can add over here is, so something that I did in my city in last 3-4 months. So we actually managed to convince the municipal commissioner over here, and we told them that if you do this, you get a good media coverage. That is the whole idea behind how we pushed it. So when we said that, he actually gave an advisory to all his office people. He gave an advisory to all the citizens to make Saturday as a no car day. He started an hashtag called no car, Shanivar no car, Saturday no car. And the advisory was sent to all citizens that use bicycle as a preferred mode of commute on Saturday, only one day a week. The municipal commissioner himself used to come on a bicycle. Because municipal commissioner is there's a lot of media coverage that already gets attention that comes over there. So again, if we can reach out to municipal commissioner in different cities, and there are bicycle mayor, there are some activists. If everyone pulls together and do something like this in their city, will definitely create a big buzz. And what we did was we started looking for all the influencers and started making them ride bicycle, so that we have more visibility, and media supported us. They gave huge coverage for the whole campaign. So even something like that will do wonders, because the moment governments comes in, you add more value to the whole campaign.
Yeah, so that I'm taking away at least two solid actionables here from what Kanishka has said. One is to firstly map a route for experienced committed cyclists. Like, maybe we need a 75-kilometer route as well, in addition to a 15-kilometer route for beginners. One log 75 because 75 years of independence. And yeah, maybe with the exit at 10-kilometer. This is also a good, or exit at 15 kilometers. I just like to push it a little bit. How do you feel about that? Can you just share thoughts about that? It's difficult to gauge interest in the chat or on your microphone. Is that something, having two levels of cycling challenges for that day? Kitu, your thoughts as experienced cyclist? Finish. Biju has said yes, she likes the idea, so we know that she likes it. Kitu is yes, show them the both ends of the spectrum. Yeah.
So the idea is good, sir, where the hardcore cyclists can ride up to 75 kilometers, and the young riders and the beginners can ride 15 kilometers, so that they would feel proud that we have ridden 15 kilometers on the Independence Day.
Nice. That's very solid action. The other one is to notify the municipality commissioner. Yeah, Vinish also agrees with that. 15th August, 15 kilometers, and 75 kilometers for 75 years independence. I think this is a really solid actionable. Thank you for raising that, Kanishka. Very useful. The other one is make it a point that we notify the municipality commissioner. And again, if you need help in writing that material to create that outreach, we can help you with that. So please reach out to us in separate DMs. Yeah, and of course, every group should make and follow lockdown rules. That's very important. COVID pandemic, we don't want to break any laws. We want to do everything by the book. All right, anything else? Chiku, anything else? Next slide. Oh, we have one more poll. I'm just going to do a quick last poll. Poll 3. Okay. We have 3 questions. What would you like to work on? You're here. We assume that you're here because you want to contribute to this campaign. So if you have something other than what you'd like to work on, please put it in chat. All right, we have some content creators. Great. Maybe share your city petition. Great. Will you go out cycling? Yes, thank you. Thank you. We have someone who's doing both. Run an event. Wonderful. Wonderful. We have 5 people who have said yes and participated in this. Anyone else? Okay, who said run event? Can you just ping me in private so that I can help you run that event? Can you just DM me in chat? Someone said they are willing to run an event. We are happy to support you fully. Just message in chat or who you are so we can take it off in private. Content creators as well. Okay, Kanishka, 15, 47, nice, and 75. Very good numbers, Kanishka. If you have not registered, if you did not enter via registration, the registration form, and you got this link through some friends or connections, please ping us so that we can get back in touch with you. Whoever said they're willing to run an event, please let us know who you are so that we can help you do that. Please
The
bring
Jacob,
Anand, yeah,
the BIA, Bangalore International Airport,
yeah,
they have actually been encouraging cyclists to cycle till there,
yeah.
and they also allow them to go and see the airport. Some
Okay.
part of it. I have not done it yet. That could be an incentive for the long distance cyclists who are the real, the real cyclists.
Yeah.
Because that adds a glamour to the people who are going to be doing 5 and 10 kilometers also.
Nice. That's a nice route, actually, Biju. Thank you for raising that. I think up and down will easily be 75 kilometers, right?
Easily, yeah.
Nice. Thanks, Anand, for volunteering to run an event. We'll help you do that. So, did you sign up through the registration form? Do we have your contact details? We'll make sure we get in touch with you separately to help you do that.
Yes.
Great. Okay. I'm going to just end the poll and share the results so you can see what it's looking like. Okay, BIA, I think that's a real strong route that we could take. Maybe Kitu can advise us on what he thinks of it. Anything else you want to write to us, just write info@jatka.org. Subject line CycleNow 2021 in the subject line. Others, we will not find your mail. So you have to put CycleNow 2021 in the subject line. Otherwise, it'll get lost with hundreds of other mails. So please be sure to mail us. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. And thank you for being here today. Is there anything else that anyone would like to say before we shut today? Anyone, any teammate?
I just think in a Bangalore situation, some of the real issues, like now since BBMP is making cycling lanes, but there is no connectivity. So if they can, try to somewhere address the real issues, which is like safety, cycles are being stolen. I mean, whatever the value of the cycle, if a cycle shop, a store owner or parking malls can be, given a little bit of consideration for cyclists also. These are all issues which are really of concern to cyclists, and because we have got this minority status, it's not really addressed, and these are things that need to be taken into consideration at all levels, like the police and all people need to be made aware of this, so that it's not like something they're doing out of pity, or it should be something that should be part of the policymakers the agenda. They should consider that. So that should be something also that we should push for.
That's what we're aiming for. But thank you for addressing that. And yeah, okay. So let's wrap it up for today. Yes, Anand, please go.
Excuse me. So I would like to thank the team Jetka because I have received the Care for Care kit as a relief rider. I was thinking to thank you in the DMs, Instagram DMs, but I didn't connect you. Now it's a great opportunity to say thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anand. It means a lot to us to meet you.
Yeah, it's behalf of all our relief riders team, Hubli Dharwad.
Thank you so much. We're very happy to meet you. Yeah, thank you for that. So Anand is talking about the Relief Riders, who is a group of volunteer group which now operate in, I think, 8 cities. There are 650 plus riders right now, Anand. And so
yeah,
how many? 650 riders, I think, relief riders around the country.
Yes, sir, 650 riders.
Deliver food, medicines, equipment to families that are sick and are unable to leave their house. So the relief riders are doing an incredible job, and we were running the Care for Care campaign, which is where we take care of carers. So what Anand's talking about is we help them with safety kits. So thank you very much. Yeah, thank you, Didi. Yes, in solidarity. Good point. And can we take one photograph before we discuss? Take a photograph together. Oh, we have one more person who has put on the camera. Let's do one more. Thank you. All right. We're going to wrap up now, and let's meet 1 week from now. And if you can share a route map that you may have devised of your neighborhood, we can start help you developing a local event there. We're going to sign off now. Thank you.